American Martial Arts Show. Welcome back, everyone. Maybe we should call this the American Martial Arts Occasional Show. But here we are back here in the strangest and weirdest year most of us have ever lived through. Hope everyone is well and safe out there. What we're doing today is getting a hold of some of the other Kung Fu Sansu teachers still trying to operate their schools in the current environment. So we're going to check in with Sifu Wayne Suter all the way down in Costa Rica, and we'll talk to Sifu Rob Campbell in Oklahoma City. We are now the old-timers of the art, people like Sifu Wayne and Sifu Latimer and myself. In the ancient Chinese Hancho language, there was no word for skeleton, so they referred to skeletons as the old bones. Since Chinese is a pictorial language of allegory, old bones became the term for framework as well. Old Kung Fu, old bones Kung Fu, means the original framework of principles that is deep within a style of Kung Fu, the skeleton of the art. It is easy to start an argument over proper Sansu, but to totally baffle one of the art's newer proponents, just use the forgotten word principle. This word is equally confounding in the contemporary worlds of religion, politics, and even medicine. But those are aspects for another discussion. As I and a dwindling few others have said many times, and keep saying, as our time in Sansu comes to an end, it is the old bones of Sansu that are growing weak. Another old Chinese martial arts term is standing stake, meaning to stand like a stake that's balanced on end. Balanced. A deeper meaning of the term old bones of a martial art is that the practitioner must stand and move like a skeleton, whose balance is unaided by the force of muscles. This refers to proper stances at all times. Proper stance at all times. The life lesson is clear enough. In what context is abandoning our principles a proper stance? In what endeavor is using force to compensate for that error an improvement, a refinement, or an advancement? Understand? These kind of trying times are the times to look at our principles and try to figure out what we believe and why, and stand on those things. Now let's check in with Sifu Wayne Suter, all the way down in Costa Rica, and see how they are faring with his hardworking students. Well, Sifu Wayne, I called you to see how you were doing with your classes in the middle of the pandemic.
It's been sporadic. The way that we've had the alerts and things here, they've several times, depending on how many COVID cases there are in any particular area, they'll go to an orange alert or a yellow alert. Orange alerts, it's pretty strict restrictions on driving or having contact with people. And then as the number of cases go down, they open it up. So it's been sporadic, and my students were very reluctant to come see me, because they were afraid that they might bring COVID to me. And so, but we finally decided, hey, we can't live in a bubble. So it's masks and alcohol and social distancing, except for, contact throwing and, throws and stuff like that. But we're maintaining.
So how much alcohol do you have to drink to immunize yourself?
Oh, it's about a quarter of a bottle a day.
That just sounded funny. Masks and alcohol, and we're good to go.
Yeah, that's it. Good to go. And I feel bad for my students, especially Michael, my brown belt, that he was really excited because if it hadn't been for COVID, he would be ready for his black belt in December this year, and now it's going to be another year. But he's a dedicated student, and he says, I don't care. He said, I'm like you. I would do it even without the belts. He said, I love Sansu. It's changed my life. And he and his wife also. His wife, when they got married last March, his wife Yanitza started taking Sansu with me too. She's only a yellow belt now, but they come and they're really dedicated. And then I have another student, Justin, that he's working and going to school, so he comes when he can. Like I said, but it's sporadic, and but we're hanging in there. It's we're doing it.
Well, it sounds like you have some good students. There's a saying that it's harder to find good students than good teachers, and I think that might be true.
I believe it. No, I really do. I really believe that's true. Yeah. Yeah. When you find somebody as dedicated as my students, I'll do anything. I'll do anything to help them and to keep them, and I want to pass the art on. That's my big thing. I've told Michael all along. I said, you're going to be my very first black belt, and it's up to you. I said, I'm 75 years old. I can only do this for another 10, 15 years.
That's the spirit.
I said, but when I'm too old to actually get up from the floor, I said, you're gonna have to take over.
That's a good way to measure it. When someone throws you and you can't get up, that means they just took over the school.
They just took over the school. Yep. But I told Michael, I said, I'm going to run my school exactly as I learned from Master Rick. I said, Rick didn't actively get out and work out, but he would give the class and then monitor it. And I said it was up to us black belts then to carry on and to actually monitor the lessons and actually do the lessons and work with the students. And I said, so when when I get to the point where I think, I'm afraid I'm going to get hurt or something like that, then I'll give the lessons, and then it's up to you, and I'll just refine them as you teach them. So we have a really good working relationship.
Well, that's good to hear. It sounds like Kung Fu Sansu in Costa Rica still has a pulse.
It still has a pulse, yep, and it will continue to have a pulse as long as I'm alive.
All right, well, hopefully things will be much better by the summer.
Let's hope so.
Thank you, Sifu Wayne Suter. We will all join you in sharing that hope. Through everything that's happening, the lifestyle of accomplishment through effort, the central doctrine of all Kung Fu, continues to sustain all of us through these difficult and challenging days. Once again, we are blessed with the greatest students in the world. We are very privileged that those special people who are serious students of the skills and understandings inherent in the ancient art of Kung Fu have continued to find us ever since our Grand Master Jimmy Wu brought the art to California. Watching these young men and women of all ages, persevere to gain new talents and abilities is as exciting today as it was in the beginning of our journeys together. Let's check in now with Sifu Rob Campbell at Phoenix Rising Kung Fu Sansu in Oklahoma City.
So, Rob, tell me, the last time we talked was before the entire world changed. Tell me how Phoenix Rising has kept things together. Are you guys still opening?
Yes, we actually are. Whenever the COVID first hit in March, we obviously had to close the school down, and we have a private Facebook group. And within that Facebook group, we were sending lessons to the students and within our community. And we're very fortunate that our students at the Kung Fu School are like family, and everybody was able to keep up with their monthly tuition. And we were able to reopen back in July, and so throughout this whole COVID deal, we've actually been going pretty strong, and these past 2 months have been the best months that the school has had since we've opened. So the Lord has been really good to us. We've been really, really blessed and fortunate.
That's very impressive that your students continued to support the school and kept it alive.
That's exactly what happened. That was exactly the case. We're lucky it's because of the people around us.
So you are able to do some in-person meetings now?
Yes. Now in Oklahoma we are. Obviously, with everything going on, we might be facing another potential shutdown. But in that event, we would end up just doing the same thing as we did before.
Sansu is kind of in a unique position. Arts that teach only forms, karate schools and some kung fu schools, they just move outdoors. But arts like Sansu, judo, wrestling, it's pretty much impossible to not train with a partner, and it's impossible to train without some kind of contact.
You're exactly right. That's one of the most challenging things during these times, for sure.
Now, you have been able to continue disseminating lessons by video, even when your school was shut down?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And the reason why I could do that is because my roommate is actually one of my black belts, and we actually have an in-home studio. So we have mats laid out in the garage, and we have all of our weapons and all that stuff. So the two of us are still able to train, and we've still been able to send lessons to everybody else who's been at home.
Good job. So you adapted and overcame. Exactly.
Just like Sansu, you step in, you improvise, you adapt, and you overcome.
Good work. Now tell me, what's new at Century?
Oh man, we got all kinds of new stuff going on at Century. It's been pretty crazy actually, because we never would have been able to see what happened coming. But whenever the COVID first hit, our core products being like belts, uniforms, sparring gear, things of that nature, our sales began to tank. I mean, we were down like in the 90% in some of our categories, but fortunate enough that people still wanted to train at home. So people still training at home, people started buying Wave Masters, and it got to the point where we can't even keep enough Wave Masters in stock. We've actually sold more Wave Masters this year than we ever have as a company, and freestanding bags and bobs and things of that nature. But our bag business is going through the roof right now, and once this is over, Century as a company will come out of this as strong as ever. We're really fortunate that our bag business is really keeping the company alive right now.
So all the training at home type gear is really still moving pretty well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it's doing very, very well. And also, like companies like Dick's Sporting Goods, Academy are buying a lot from us outside of the retail and wholesale customers.
Well, in crisis, there's opportunity, and it sounds like you and Century Martial Arts have done a pretty good job of adapting to this unique and unprecedented situation.
Absolutely, you're exactly right. And Paul Webb, our president, he's a great guy and a very forward-thinking individual. And his whole thing is during this, he's treating it just like the fight. While you're looking at our competitors and while they're down, we're still gonna mash the gas, and we're still gonna keep trying to go forward. One of the things that sets Century apart is the fact that we can manufacture some of our goods in-house. So the fact that we have a factory and we're able to produce our own product definitely helps us out in this situation.
This is a good example of a company for martial artists run by martial artists. So they have that martial arts mindset that they then apply to their business when the business is in a crisis.
You're exactly right. And Paul Webb told us he's going to stay on the attack. That's exactly what we plan on doing, and that's what we've done as a company. And really shout out and kudos to everybody at Century, because it's been tough. I've been working from home since March, and I'm not a huge fan of it, but we've still been able to come together as a team. We're still producing products, still getting catalogs out. Shout out to our manufacturing team. They're out there killing it. They're working 50-hour, 60-hour weeks, some of those guys, and they're really, and everybody's done a great job at stepping up to the plate and helping out. It's definitely been a team effort. It's not a one-man show at Century. It's an everybody deal.
Well, Sifu Rob, you deserve credit, too, for keeping Phoenix Rising together. You've done a great job. Say hello to everybody at your school and everybody at Century. Hopefully we'll see you in the fall in person right there in Oklahoma City.
Yes, sir. That's what we're hoping for. Next year is we're going to try to make it a really big promotion here in Oklahoma City. Obviously, things got derailed. We actually had to cancel our spring promos this year, and we had to do a closed door promos just to get it done. But we're really looking forward to next year.
All right, Sifu Rob, you guys stay safe, and thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you, Sifu.
So long.
So long.
That wraps it up, everyone. Thanks for being with us. Don't forget, if you need martial arts supplies, support Century Martial Arts at centurymartialarts.com.